there are other particular things or particular characteristics of safety valves that are quite important to be aware of. Yeah? And as well, it's quite important to take those in consideration when we are, let's say, deciding or designing our system. Yeah, and that is because that will have an impact, a very relevant impact in how our system is going to perform related to safety valves. So as I said, in addition to this closing or reseating tolerances, we will have as well different sealing methods. Yeah, and that will have an impact on how the valve is going to perform. Just to give an example on one difference that you can have. On safety valves, you can have hard sealings or you can have soft sealings. Yeah, hard sealings are let's say very robust, but it's very often that they are not bubble tight. Yeah. On the other hand, soft sealings are usually bubble tight if they are made correctly, but they are sensitive to the type of refrigerant, to the type of oils that you have, and as well to aging and temperatures and opening. So we have to take these things in consideration depending of the system that we are talking. In general, when we are talking refrigeration and the common refrigerants, we will decide or prefer a valve that is gas tight on this end, so we don't lose refrigerant over time. Yeah. So from that perspective, talking about the optimal safety valves when it comes to these topics that I was mentioning, it's a safety valve that is tight, yeah, and that it will remain tight for its lifetime, meaning that unless it is required to open because of of an event of let's say pressure rising above what it should be, the valve should not leak, and it should remain tight and not allow any refrigerant to go out to the environment. That is one critical point. Then a second one is the set pressure. Yeah, the one we have been discussing as the point where the valves start to open, that should remain unchanged for the lifetime of the safety valve. The valves are calibrated, let's say, when we before we install them, before we get them. But of course, we have to guarantee that set pressure is going to stay. Yeah, and it's going to remain unchanged for the lifetime, and that has to do with the design of the safety valve. And then coming back again to the same topic of the closing tolerance and the reseating pressure, that is as well very important point, especially for high set pressures. We want the valve to close as soon as possible once it has opened, so we can reduce our refrigerant loss on this case. Anders, do we have a
we have a question from
here?
Irshad. Yes, for air-cooled chillers, what type of maintenance work can we do on safety valve and on what frequency?
Well, I would say that here the requirement when it comes to to safety valves will be similar for different type of refrigerant systems. There is, depending on the country, usually a requirement on how frequent safety valves has to be on one end inspected, and on how frequent safety valves need to be calibrated. Yeah, in general, that requirement will never exceed or will not exceed 5-year period of time. Yeah. So from that perspective, at minimum, safety valves should be calibrated within 5 years.